Hello, I am now going to show you guys how to do a sort of glamorous day look. If you had a nice lunch event or daytime wedding or something like that where you just need a little more done up look, this would be something that you could go to. I just have my base on right now and a little blush. So I'm going to go straight into the eyes. Get my hair out of the way a little bit. Okay, so first I'm just going to start, I'm going to use my Kat Von D palette. This is the Ludwig palette. I believe they still have this on the market. Got it a long time ago, but I'm a big fan of it. This was black, but it fell out because I dropped it, of course. It's a good range of shadows. It has some nice highlighting colors, some good neutrals, and some greens in there as well. There's another one that has more cool tones. I forget what it's called right now, and I don't have it in front of me, but it has more like purples and things like that. This one I tend to use more for day. So anyways, I'm going to go in and start with this shade right here, which I believe is called Downtown, yeah. And it's sort of like a light coppery gold tone, really pretty for the lid. And I'm using just a regular brush. This is the Deluxe shader from Jane Iredale. And I'm going to go start in the middle and just pat it on there. You can see how shimmery and shiny it is. And it's really soft, these shadows, and highly pigmented, so a little goes a long way. And when you pat it on there, it's so that it doesn't fall under your eye. So I pat it and then blend it across the entire lid and then slightly up into the crease to kind of create a halo around the lid. And do the same on the other eye. Pat it on, and then spread it out. Okay, so you can see how shimmery that is and pretty. I'm going to go back with a slightly smaller brush. This one's MAC 2, I think it's 2, oh man, it's totally worn off, 290 or something like that. I'm going to go and get my light color here for highlight, and I'm going to put that right in the inner corner, and that just pops that eye, you can see. And then I drag it into the lid a little bit as well, along the lash line and up, and same on the other eye. So this is a very shimmery look. You could do a similar look with matte colors. You would just use, a similar mid-tone shade for the lid and then a very bright light color on this part. But you just could do it without the shimmer if you're not a fan of shimmer. But I am. Then you want to put a little bit of that shimmer underneath your brow bone. You don't want to do too much. You don't want it to be like totally blinding, but just enough to lift the eye up there. I have a scar there, so I like to put shimmer there to kind of reflect off of it so you don't see it in pictures and things like that. Okay, so there's your highlighting. I'm also going to put a little highlight on the lower part of the eye, on the inner here. Okay, you can kind of see all of that. Next step, I'm going to use a crease brush here. This one is from Chanel, number 12. And I'm going to use like a mid-tone type shade, which on this palette is, I guess a little darker than mid-tone for the crease. So I'm going to go one darker than what I used on my lid. And I'm going to go in the crease on both sides. I start in the middle usually and just work my way mostly towards the outside with this one. I'm going to go back and forth a little bit, but I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm going to go mostly out here, because I'm trying to draw my eyes out and up. You could also use just a more neutral shade, not necessarily something so brown and bronze. You could use something more like a deep taupe or tan type color. Usually I'll use a matte color in my crease, but since this entire palette is shimmery and I'm just going from this palette, then I am going to show it to you like this. But you know, there's no right or wrong necessarily, so you can kind of experiment and see which kind of looks you like. Okay, so you can see how that's starting to add depth to the eye. And making sure I don't go below the line here where my corner reaches my temple, because I like to keep that angle so it helps pull my eye upward and not start to look sloppy. Okay, next up is the next darkest brown on here. I'm going to use this brush. It's a little bit tighter and has more of a point on the end for the crease. And this one is by Smashbox, and it's number 15. As you can see, I go across the board with my brush brands. I try all sorts of different ones and just find ones that I like from each company, but of course many companies make full sets that you can get that are fine, but I just like to experiment. So anyways, what I do with this darker color is create like a little V on the corner of my eye. So I'm going to start at the outer corner, going up towards the end of my brow, towards my temple, make that little line there. And then right when I get to the part where my lid meets the crease, I stop the line and I go inward. So I'm making like a little V shape in a way. Okay. See it more when I close. And then I don't add any more product, I just use what I have on there and blend it in. Just pulling it from that corner and blending. I don't want to cover up all the other work I did, I'm just sort of creating a little outline here. Okay, I'll do the same on the other eye. Sort of hard to see on this side for me, but same kind of thing. You do a line, bring that line over, okay. I also like to go back in with my fluffy or crease brush and soften that, blend all of it together, and just run it over until it all starts to blend in together nicely. Especially in this part here, you don't want to overblend this area, you don't want to soften it too much because you want to make sure it remains dark. But this part where you're blending the two colors into each other, you want to make sure that's nice and smooth. Okay. Next, you're going to take that same dark brown, this one, with an angle brush. This one's Jane Iredale Angle Liner Brow Brush. So you can use it for liner or for your brows. And I'm going to basically connect the dark shadow from up here to my lower lid so that it all balances out. And I'm pulling it towards the center of the lower eye here. Just making sure that this line is nice and straight on the outside. See how that one, it's all connected and starts to balance. I don't pull that all the way over, I just bring it pretty much to the middle of the lower lid. And same goes for this side. Okay. And there you go. And you can also take a little bit of that mid-ranged here, this color, the bronze, and then start from the middle here and bring that a little bit closer towards the inside of the eye. And you're kind of copying what's going on up here on the lower, so it goes like dark to light, so you're doing the same on the bottom, dark to light. Okay, and then you want to go with the one that's on your lid, the lighter copper, and just put a little bit of it right here. And it's already going into the lightest highlight color right there, so kind of just creates a little gradation. Okay. Now we'll get into some eyeliner. I'm just going to take a very thin little pointed brush here. I'm not sure what brand this is. Sometimes I even buy these at the art store because I like to get them really nice and thin, but most brands have them, MAC has them, and things like that, so you can find it. Now I'm going to use a cream liner, or you can also call it a gel liner. I'm going to use this one from Maybelline just to show you, you know, that you can use drugstore stuff and it works fine. It's the eyestudio Blackest Black, and if you want other brands, these are all great as well. There's the Bobbi Brown Longwear Eyeliner Gel, fantastic. Fluid Line by MAC is another option, or Sephora actually carries another one as well. It's a cream liner, and they have, all of these have multiple color options. The one I'm going to go with right now is black. Sometimes I would go with a dark brown, but I'm going to make this line pretty thin, so I'll go with black. It's not going to be too dramatic. So you want to dip your brush in there and swirl it around, twirl it like that, so you get product all the way around. And it also like helps your brush come to a nice point when you do that. I like to wipe off any excess on my hand, which you'll want to make sure you wash your hand afterwards, because this stuff, once it dries, is hard to get off and you don't want to look all dirty on your hand. Okay, so you've got your little brush here. I usually like to start in the middle. I rest it right on my lashes and start to pull to the side here. I'm just pulling all the way out to the end here. I'm going to pull it out a little and follow that dark brown line a little bit. Then I go back in and pull it to the inner corner. Alrighty. So a nice smooth line going on here. Okay, and I'm going to do the other eye. Make sure you get more product on there so that it goes on smooth. And do the other eye. And you can see I like to pull from the inside out. It's just the way I like to do it, because it makes the line really nice and smooth. But you know, if you like to go a different direction, you know, test it out, see what you're comfortable with. Sometimes on the end here I'll go back the other direction to get get nice and dark. Okay, pulling it all the way in. Make sure it's, you know, one nice smooth line from the inner all the way to the out. In general, you want to make sure that the line on the inside here is nice and thin, and then it can gradually get slightly thicker towards the end, but you always want to make sure on the inside it's nice and thin. Again, just pulling my eye a little bit and extending the line to follow the dark brown up here. Alright, and you can put a little bit on the lower corner here just to balance that little wing with the black. Okay, and then you finish it off with some mascara. I'm going to use Full and Soft Maybelline, since we used that Maybelline liner to do a little more Maybelline. I'm a fan. And you know, you just go with the base, wiggle, and drag it. This could clearly be a evening look as well. But you know, it's not so intense that you could walk out in the daylight and look like a drag queen or anything, but you do look made up. And if you're not a fan of bronze colors, you can do the similar technique with you know, a shade range of purple. You could do like a mid-tone purple on the lid with slightly darker in the crease, and then a really dark one for the V. So, you know, your options are endless. You just have to pick a shade range. You have to have your highlight, your lid color, your crease color, and then your outer corner color, and then a liner. So you kind of just pick, you know, whatever color range you want for those. And same goes for shimmer versus matte. You just pick which ones you like. Okay, so there's the mascara. Put a little bit on the bottom as well. Just a teeny bit. So there you go. Very glamorous and simple look. And hope you like it. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment and let me know. Thanks.